Brilliant. Fantastic.
Oh, yay, we are live.
Yay.
All right. Continuing our Black Business Spotlight today, which I'm so excited to be doing. My name is Ashley Jackson of Timeless Dream Events. Thank you for tuning in, everyone who is tuning in now and will tune in later. We are featuring right now Shirley Powell of Your Life in Your Hands. And she is an amazing entrepreneur. But not only that, but she is an author, yay, international speaker, health and lifestyle coach and mentor, a dedicated health and well-being specialist, a local pastor and CEO and founder of Your Life in Your Hands. She is deeply passionate about the health, and Shirley offers comprehensive health and lifestyle assessments to help her clients to live and stay well. I love that. Um, Also, Shirley is deeply passionate about motivating and empowering professionals, especially female professionals and entrepreneurs, and those in corporate roles where they experience low self esteem, lack of confidence, and struggle to find their passion and balance, which is so very necessary and is very common. Coming me as far as I am concerned,
Mhm.
coming from someone with background in human resources and management, oftentimes I would feel lack of confidence and low self esteem because of my job. So I really love what you have to offer, Shirley.
Mhm.
So please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your life in your hands.
Well, hello everybody. I should just say hello to the audience. Thank you for tuning in to listen to me. I am a nurse of 37 years. I can't believe 37 years. I'm wearing
37.
well. And I have a wealth of experience of working in a clinical and leadership arena within healthcare. I've worked in what we call the National Health Service here in the UK, which has been going for several years as a nurse in the hospital setting and also in community. I have a degree in nursing and a master's in primary healthcare, which I studied in London. And I just really started the bit. Do you want me to say? Are you not ready to ask the questions yet? Are you just want to know who
Oh,
I am? Yeah.
please say, and I'll catch up and fill it in
Okay.
wherever. But please.
Well, I've got a various amount of skills that I've gathered along my journey in health and also teaching others as well. Also, as I said, as you said, I'm an author, co-author to a book called "The Walls Around Me," which is a book about mental health. It's actually about authors who have they've actually told their stories about caring for a loved one with a mental health condition. And I talk about my story helping a loved one with schizophrenia and the
Wow.
impact that that's had. And then I offer self-care tips on how to care for an individual with who's going through, because it's always about, as it's quite fitting for Caregivers Day, for
Yes.
carers to actually say who cares for the carers. So it gives tips on how carers who are caring for a loved one can actually incorporate self-care into their routine. So that's me really in a nutshell, around about who I am and what I do. I'm also a pastor, so I'm very busy ministering in church on a Sunday in True Vine Church, and also during the week and helping others in the community through prayer, through visits, pastoral visits, through
Sure.
attending for services and funeral services, really trying to be a support for the community. I see myself as a community pastor really as well. So there's a wealth of things that I get involved in.
I mean, it sounds like it. And one of my dear friends, Simone, she says nurses rock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful. We definitely do. We definitely do.
But
Yes.
you
Check
know, I have a
for my
question,
nursing
Shirley.
colleagues.
How do you? When do you breathe? When do you take a step back to just go?
At night when I get to sleep.
I mean, whew, I thought I did a lot in the day, but whoo, you got me beat. That's a great resume. I know I'm very thankful for nurses, especially with helping my husband in his cancer journey as a caregiver. I'm very thankful for all the beautiful, wonderful nurses out there. So, thank you for your dedication.
Thank you.
We appreciate our healthcare workers for sure, especially during this season that we find ourselves in.
Yes,
So,
because I also work as a part-time nurse, as well as running my business. So was working in a care home, caring, doing 2 days a week, because, when we were in the lockdown, it had an impact on how many people you can see face to face in the
oh wow,
business. So that kind of just balanced things out. We got to pay the bills.
right.
So did that as well. So yes, that's
Okay.
what I've been doing.
And so out of all the things that you do, what brought you to creating your life in your hands, and what do you offer?
Well, I, as I said, I've been a nurse for a long time, and I'd worked in different areas in the hospital, in the community. I also worked, I loved working in the community because I trained as a district nurse back in 97, 98. And I loved working at community work. But I decided I needed a bit more flexibility. So I wasn't, as it came to a time when I wasn't feeling happy in my corporate role. So I decided I wanted a bit more freedom to thrive.
Sure.
Also, as I said to you earlier, I'm a minister, so I wanted that flexibility to be able to be free for the community, for the people when they wanted me. Not that you can't have this day off because you got to book this, and that
Yeah.
restriction that you can have when you're working in a corporate role. So I wanted that freedom, and that flexibility to be able to be involved in community work, in community projects, as well as my ministering as a pastor. So that
Sure.
was one of the things. I also kind of fell into the business, so to speak, because I was working as an agency nurse. And as I worked as an agency nurse, I basically was told that we had to set up a limited company in order to get paid.
Okay.
So initially I thought, well, okay. So I thought, well, I'll do it initially. But then afterwards I thought, you know what, this is a good idea. Why not, make a name for the business? And I started to think about it, pray about it. And then the Lord gave me the name Your Life in Your Hands. And it's funny listening to Chris last night talking about the biblical context of his business.
Yes.
But where it came from with me is when in Exodus, I believe it was Exodus chapter 4, verse 2, when the Lord said to Moses, "What is that in thine hand?" And he had the rod. And that gave me the inspiration to call in the business Your Life in Your Hands, because we are all advocates of our own health. So although we are here to give people the tools to be able to, look after their health, they are the advocates of their health. We're there to do them. So another thing is, at the time when I started the business, there wasn't many businesses around that were looking at preventative healthcare. And I'm very into the whole holistic care, preventative care, because I feel that if one part of you is sick, another part is going to suffer. So it's to do with the physical, the psychological, the social, everything impacts. So when I do a comprehensive assessment with my clients, it's a holistic assessment. How do you eat? How do you sleep? You
Sure.
know, all of that has an impact on health. So all that came into why I started the business. And the other thing about it as well is that I wanted to be able to provide a service, because having worked as a district nurse, I noticed there were a lot of people in the community that can't always get out to a GP practice. So I wanted to offer that flexibility of mobile service so that I can go to people or they can come to me. So we travel around in the community, being able to help people in the comfort of their own home, so they can have a health check in their home if they can't come to me. There wasn't many people doing that. It was all, and there was also a gap in the system around the preventative healthcare. There were kind of things where people were looking at coronary heart disease, strokes, when people had them. And I thought, well, why wait for somebody to get cardiovascular disease or a stroke or diabetes? Why not do something to prevent these people from going on to get these illnesses? So our services really helps that. And we work with organizations, and we also work in the community to help people to live and stay well. That is the overall. And they can have a positive, healthy lifestyle after having a health and lifestyle assessment. And it really gives people a current snapshot of their health status. Because some people, they don't know, they haven't had a health check, or they haven't had their blood pressure checked you think, when was the last time you had your blood pressure checked, Ashley?
You know what? I'm not even going to lie. Can't remember.
So really, people should really be having their blood pressure checks at least once a year, because your blood pressure can tell a lot of things, especially with the stress that people are going through, and even having a blood test to look at what's going on in your blood, because that's how you can find out about what is happening. I mean, I had a recent blood test recently, and they found that I was anemic. So so it's so important to be able to have these tests and have a model and a framework that people can be looked at holistically. They get educational development, they get nutritional advice, and we help them as the advocates of their own health by giving them the tools to be able to empower them to live and stay well. And we look at as I said, we're not looking at only the physical, we're looking at the mental health, anybody with long-term conditions. And we also offer ongoing health management. Now, if you go to your GP gives you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and that's it, out the door.
Bye.
And so you get 30 minutes with us where you sit down and you can talk about you. It's person-centered, specifically to you. It's tailored service to you. And that is what we provide.
That's amazing, because all the times, from my personal experience with my husband sitting, we can sit there for like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, waiting to see the doctor for all of 5 to 10 minutes. And it's like, we didn't even go through the list of all the things that is wrong with him and why we needed to come to this visit. But they have maybe 50 to 70 more people to see before they leave, in essence, clock out and go home. So it's like, how can you really get to the root of what's happening in the 5 to 10 minutes you're with your doctor? Like, you just can't. But I love what Farron, my dear sister friend Farron, said. Our community really needs preventative services versus reactive, which is so very true. And very I love this segue between you and Christopher, and then now you. I'm loving this conversation, because it can be uncomfortable, because we're so used to doing things or eating the way we want to eat, or listening to things or watching the things that we want to do, but we have to change to be healthy, And could you remind the listeners of your book, the name of your book, and where we can find it again?
Yes, I did have it. I did have a copy here. Let me show you.
Please.
So it's on Amazon.
Okay.
But people can contact me to get a personal signed copy if they would like. Can you see it?
It's The Walls Around Me.
The Walls Around Me. Yeah, and it's 9 authors talking about the main author who compiled it. It's the anthropology. Is Mertha Dubois, and it's 9 individuals, as I said, sharing their story about looking after a loved one, and the self-care and the tips that they put in place to help their loved one going through. And so my chapter is called reflecting. Sorry.
Okay.
My goodness. Renewing your mind. Sorry, renewing your mind. It's about reflection, but my chapter is called Renewing Your Mind. And it is on Amazon if you want to check it out and have a look. But I'm happy to share the link for you to share with the audience.
Please. And definitely for those that want a signed copy too.
Yes,
In case you guys didn't know or weren't here at the very beginning, Shirley and I were discussing how today is National Caregivers Day. And everybody on this platform has heard me till they're probably blue in the face about caregivers. So today is very special where we can recognize family caregivers. So I'm very pleased to hear that Shirley also has a book geared towards caregivers and caring for the caregiver. So thank you for sharing that, Shirley. And so how long have you been in business? Your life in your hands portion, because I know you've got several things going on. So how long have you been, doing this particular side of your business?
Well, last year we celebrated 5 years in business, which was amazing.
Wow.
When I looked back at the journey and thought, wow, we hit 5 years. Because normally they say after 3 to 5 years, you either make it or you break it. But yes, so March next month will actually be six years. March the 22nd actually will be 6 years we've been in business. So, and it's been an amazing journey. I've worked with so many different organizations in the community, did different works in prison, with voluntary sectors, charities, with individuals, clients, and it's just been amazing. And we actually work with organizations. We go in and do health and workshops around stress management, about how to care for your back, and advice, lifestyle advice. So it's just been a wonderful journey, absolutely a wonderful journey along the way with the people that we've worked with. And in 2019, because I felt that, no woman is no man is an island, I created something called the Wellness Hub and brought in some other health practitioners who actually work alongside with me to offer services together. So we would go out to shopping centres and we'd offer taster sessions. And one of my colleagues, Imani, her business is called KMT Rising. She actually does breathing techniques and she also does women's health, womb health. So she works with them. And then my other colleague does craniosacral therapy. I don't know if you've heard of that, Ashley, but what that is where they do gentle touch techniques to help that person to bring everything back into alignment. A little bit like the osteopath type kind of role. So we pair together, and another colleague who does reflexology, and we'd go around and we'd have these days, like once or twice a year, we'd go and do a taster session in an organization. We've got an event coming up in April. So that's what we actually been doing.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys have been doing this mobile healthcare before it became an even bigger necessity during COVID. So you guys were ahead of your time. Look at you.
And like you, I tried to do it around a theme. So we did it around Women's Health Day, or International Health Day. So we actually went out to the supermarkets and to the shopping centres and invited people to come and have a check, just a quick check. It was just like a little taster session.
Sure.
And tailored it around those events. Yeah.
I mean, so smart. Because during the season that we're in, I'm like, how come you guys weren't thinking about this before? Like, I could just log into my computer and talk to you there. Why do I have to drive all the way, to these appointments, then sit there for an hour, only to be there for 10 minutes and then have to drive all the way back home? But yet, this is so much easier, and it's very necessary. So that's amazing. You were ahead of your time.
Well, I was doing research around what was needed, and the other thing is I actually had to take the business online. So we did this year was the first time we've done online assessments. So
Okay.
people who probably already had blood tests with their GPs, they could have an assessment with me online and have their results, and they get a report which outlines what we discussed, and then they can set goals. Because I think it's very important not just to have a health assessment, but what are you going to do about it?
Uh-huh.
You've got to take action, not just say, well, okay, if you want to say, for example, lose weight, well, okay, let's see, let's be realistic. Okay, how what let's have some smart goals. So is it £2 you want to lose? Let's say we're going to say you're going to lose £2 a week, or
Sure.
£2 every 2 weeks, and set goals. And they go away with goals, and the feedback we get from our clients is amazing, because they said there's not many people that will go through and set goals with them, so that they have health goals to help them to go on. And we kind of help people to be there to hold them accountable, but in a nice way, to help them and keep them on track with their health.
But that's true. So, because it's hard to be seen and heard in such a short amount of time. So that makes perfect sense. That's great. So I like to ask, um, what does when someone says, what does becoming our ancestors' wildest dreams mean to you? Because this is what our ancestors fought so hard for our right to have our own things, like our own businesses, becoming a nurse, becoming an author. What does that statement mean to you?
Wow. When I think, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, Ashley. Um, I recall there was a time when I put my blue uniform on, because we wear blue uniform as a as a nurse, for the first time. I had to kind of pinch myself to say, is this for real? Because in my immediate family, I think I was one of the first to get a master's degree, and I had to kind of pinch myself and think, wow, even despite the challenges, because it wasn't always an easy road. You had the issues around discrimination and
Sure.
racism and all that along the way, but it was, I didn't quit. I kept on there. And having thought about the ancestors like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, they stood up for what they believed in, and they didn't quit. They stayed to the end, and that sort of set the path and paved the way for people like myself and many others of us today, that we can say, yeah, we can hold on and do things, and have our own businesses, and achieve great things. And
Absolutely.
I just feel that, it's despite the challenges, people have, they should still continue. And those, our ancestors really inspired me to keep going. And I'm sure they were kind of behind me saying, oozing me, say, come on, Shirley, you can do it, you can do
Uh-huh.
it. And even though I hadn't met my grandparents, I know that they had that entrepreneurial spirit in them, and I'm sure they were there, kind of oozing me to continue on. So I,
Sure.
I am just very amazed, inspired by people such as, I said, Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and many others, to mention, who did that, and my own family ancestors who paved the way for us.
Yes, I remember you mentioned last night that because when Chris was talking about how
Mm.
our great grandmother influenced him, I know you mentioned that you didn't get to meet yours, but see, still look,
Yes.
you're still motivated by them.
Mhm. Yes, because I remember my mum telling me she's from a small island called Nevis, in the Caribbean. And I
Yes,
can remember her saying they used to get on the boat, and then they used to travel over to another island there. So they were quite close, St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't know if you've heard of them. And they used to
I've
go
heard of
along,
that country.
and they used to go and sell their coconut tarts and their cakes and the sugar cakes, and they'd go and sell them, and that's the start of the entrepreneurial type journey. And I'm sure that's where mine was derived from.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, great. So, what is something? new and up and coming that you're working on right now, if there's anything that you can tell us?
There's a couple of things I'm working on right now. We've just actually had a magazine come out promoting our services, which has gone to all the IP addresses in our area. It actually promotes what I do, but it also is sharing about an event that we've got coming up on April the 6th. We're going to be going to our local university college and actually having one of those days I was telling you about with the Wellness Hub. So we're having a lady who's going to be making us some buns with Wellness Hub on it. We're going to have Amani and Lynn are going to be there, who are going to be offering their services as well. And I'll be doing a mini health check for people who want to come along and have their blood pressure checked and really just have a chat about their health. So we're going to be doing that on the day. And before that, I've actually been asked to speak at an event that is coming up called Suit Up and Show Up.
Okay.
So I will be speaking about health at that event. I'm one of their TEDxX speakers that will be speaking. And that is going to be this coming Friday, the 24th and the 25th, the event is. But I'm actually going to be speaking on the 25th. And it's on sale at Eventbrite. So if you'd love to come and hear me speak, do come along to the Suit Up and Show Up on the 24th and 25th of February.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to share the links if you can after we end our live. That'd be great.
I'm also launching a coaching program, which is going to run over 6 months. So I'm looking for 6 people to come and work with me to be able to go through their embodying wellness so that they can have information about hormonal imbalance, gut health, nutrition. These are some of the themes that I did some research to find out what it is people want to do. So it was been tailored specifically to what people have said that they want to learn. And actually that's going to be running soon. I'm hoping to launch that, all being well, God's willing, in March.
Okay. And what does that look like? Is that like in person or is it virtual as well?
It's going to be virtual. It's going to be virtual, so anybody can sign up and then start tapping into the modules with me. They'll have Q&A sessions, what we call like office hours. So you have the opportunity to ask any questions about what you want in relation to your health. But you also have the opportunity to have a journal booklet where you can work through your health goals as we go through each module. So I'm really excited about it because it's my first beta program. So I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I know I've said this time and time again on this channel. I'm going to say it again. You all know I believe in coaches and courses and trainings. So why not get with the master and know who knows what they're talking about? Get with that person, and Shirley's got the years of nursing to back up what she's saying.
I certainly have. I'm wearing well.
I was like, you know what? I love us so much because I almost said 37 where because you're only 37 years old. I beg to differ, ma'am.
Ashley, you're a friend for life.
I love it. I love it.
I love you.
We have to encourage each other.
Yes, we do.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. I was talking with Christopher last night before we went live. Before my dad suddenly passed away, he was in the works of doing some of the things that you mentioned that you're going to offer in your course. He was asking doctors for a full printout from like head to toe of any kind of like parasitic things going on in his body, how alkaline versus acidic his body is. Like he was going through all these different gamuts right before he passed. So he was like on this verge of going full holistic with with, you know, what he was eating, drinking, watching, reading. And I'm just loving this conversation with um, making sure you're healthy, because you we've got so much we got to do. I said this last night. We have so much that we
Definitely.
have left to do in this world, and to show the world we need to be healthy in order to do it, and not just physically, but this too.
Yes, yes. And I totally agree with you, Ashley, because what I've found is some of the clients that I've worked with in the past, they'll say, oh, my doctor said my blood test was fine. I said, yeah, but what does that mean? Did they explain to you the underlying cause of what it is? Did they explain to you what the cholesterol test is? Did they explain to you what your HDL and your LD is, so you know what is your good fat and what is your bad fat in the body? Or did they just say it's fine? So that's what I do with my clients. I give them an explanation, because I'm somebody who likes to pay attention to detail. So I think if I want to know, I'm sure my clients would want to know. So I will give them the breakdown. This is what's happening here. This is what's happening with your blood pressure. This is why your diastolic and your systolic, because the top one is your systolic, the diastolic is the one where your heart is resting. If it's going too high, you know you're in problems, because you're getting a risk of having a stroke. So I break down and tell people about their health, because I think it's important for people to know. Because if they don't know, they won't make the changes. They'll just think, oh, I'm okay, and just carry on like everything is okay. And you and I know, as we get older, that's when things start happening.
Yeah. And it's important to ask those questions, because
Yeah.
like you said, you'll keep going down the same path thinking everything's good. And I know a lot of people, like our people, don't ask questions because we see the doctors and nurses that have put so much work and schooling in. We're like, oh, well, they know what they're talking about. My husband will be the first one to tell you that his doctor team and nurse team see me coming down the hallway. They're probably rolling their eyes like, oh, here she come again. Because I have all the questions. Because if I don't understand something, you betcha, by golly, I'm going to raise my hand and say, excuse me, what does that mean?
And that's right. You should know. I mean, I had the same thing with my doctors this week. I said, I need a printout of my blood results because I want to know what they are. And they said, oh, well, you're a typical nurse, aren't you? I said, well, I need to know. It's my health. It's my body.
It's because we love our people.
Yeah. And it's important to know. Yeah. Don't just fob people off. Tell them what they need to know about their health.
Yeah, exactly. And Simone just said, we need more of that. Patients need a breakdown. We need to know what is going on with our bodies, and just hearing our results are fine is not enough.
No, you're right, Simone.
There might be an underlying, issue there that we might not know of, right?
It's true. I mean, to give you an example, I recently had a test. I mean, I do a bit of research because I like to see what my competition is.
Right.
So I recently had a test with a private company and had a full screen myself. I thought, practice what you preach, Shirley. And they found something with my bloods, which my GP hadn't found. So when I went back to my GP, they then said, oh, we want to do our own test. Now, had I not done that myself, how would I have known what was going on with me? So I do think it's important for us to have these screens, even though some people might think, oh, I'm fearful, I don't want to know. But when you know, you have the opportunity to put it right and do something about it.
Right. That's very true. It's hard to digest certain news, but then you can create like an action plan after that, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, you get ongoing support as well. So you're not having to do things on your own. When you go to the GP, you're lucky if you get through the door. I mean, I haven't seen my GP. It's all on the phone. So, but you get actually the opportunity to work with me. If we can't meet up, we get a Zoom call together, or Skype call together, or just a chat on the phone. But you get that person-centered and tailored approach to work with me.
I like that. Person-centered, not just the number that's shuffling through the office that day. Exactly. I love that. Person-centered.
Oh. As a nurse, I've always thought I would like to treat people to be treated as I would want to be treated myself. So if you can't give your best to the people that you're looking after, especially our people as well, not everybody really, but our people as well, then, why are you in a caring profession?
Right. Oh, I mean, absolutely. Uh, it's very true. You know, I don't know why some people go into the professions that they go into, but here we are. um, but that's why um, when I'm with a doctor or nurse that, I can tell that they're just tired. They want to go home, but they are putting in the 100% plus effort. I say thank you, because I'm not sure how many times a day they actually hear those two words. Probably little to none. So I just say thank you. That's because that's all I can give them at the time. And nurses and doctors are very needed. But I feel like we also need to put some work in to make sure that we maintain a healthy balance or get to that healthy balance as well.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's about working in partnership as well, isn't it? It's,
Yep.
definitely. It's
Exactly.
not like being prescriptive all the time to people, because it's their body. Actually, work with people and see what they want and give them the tools for them then to then go on and apply what they've been told. If they want to apply, at least they can't say they weren't told.
Right. Exactly. So, and my mom, she just said it's so important to ask questions. And I think that's where I got my tenacity from when it comes to dealing with doctors, because I've had to watch her deal with doctors for her mother and then for her father. And then as I'm taking care of my husband, I have the same, if the tire claw's got to come out. Sorry for whoever's in my path.
Hi, Mom. Hi, say hi, Mom. Yes, I should relate.
So, what do you say to other entrepreneurs, specifically Black entrepreneurs that are up and coming, or they are currently in the thralls of doing their thing? What kind of advice do you give to them?
Well, I would say is when I started my business, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research about what it is I really wanted to do. And I actually did produce something called 7 Steps to Transition Your Life, which looked at what are your current skills? If you're thinking about leaving your corporate role to come to start into training, what transferable skills can you take with you into your position, into your business? The other thing is, I always think it's important to align yourself that you are walking in your purpose. So, what was that thing that you wanted to do when you were a child that you thought, oh, I'll just put that aside? But really, it keeps coming back. And that dream that you said, I really would love to do that, but you put it aside because family came, children came, marriage came, and you still never did it, but you really wish you did that thing. So are you walking in your purpose? Are you doing the thing that makes your heart sing?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I recently heard a quote to say, if you don't like where you are, move, because you're not a tree. I think that was Jim Rohn, I'm not sure. But if you don't like where you are, move, do something about it. Don't feel that you have to stay in the same place. You are in control. So you can take steps to take action and do what you want to do. Don't die with your dreams. Don't die with something that you said you wanted to do, but you never did it. It's no good in the grave, So live now while you can, follow your dream and take action and do the things that you want to do. It might be art, it might be, sewing, whatever it is that it comes into your heart to say, oh, we really would like to have a go at doing this in your business. And I do help other entrepreneurs that are going through wanting to start up and not sure what steps to take. That's something I do as well on the side, coaching, that if they want, just to give them a little guidance about, say, well, this is the route that I took, this is what helped me, because being an entrepreneur can be a lonely road, you know, and you really have to have the support of your family or friends around, or somebody who believes in you. But the first thing that you must do is believe in yourself, you know, and believe that you can do it. And I have another quote that I found, which I absolutely love. And that was from, I believe it was, yes, it was from Maya Angelou. She said, I learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So whatever
Ooh.
services, yes. So whatever services you provide in your business or your products, always have good customer service, because people will remember. And always have your words seasoned with salt. And what I mean by that is, you know, that you can, you know, the customer will remember that and they'll come back.
I
So
love
that's
that. Can you say that quote again? I love that.
okay. I learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Wow.
So that's Maya Angelou.
And Farron
I
says
can
one of
share
her
that with you.
favorite quotes.
Hmm?
My friend Farron said that's one of her favorite quotes from Maya
Yes, it's true.
Angelou.
So
Wow.
yeah, so just follow through and do what you want. I've always been very passionate about health. I wanted to be a school teacher, but I then went into health. But you know, I still did teaching along the way, so that that came in through my path. But do follow through and walk in your purpose and live out your dream.
I love that. And what would you say? See, because this channel also knows I be talking about purpose.
Yeah.
So can you? They're like, will she be quiet? Nope. I'm on. I'm on a soapbox now. Um, can you tell some someone that may be struggling, an entrepreneur that, well, an up and coming entrepreneur that is struggling? What does it mean when you find your purpose? What does that look like for you? What did that look like for you?
When you find your purpose, you will feel like there's a reason to get up out of bed every morning. You will find that there's a reason to just do the thing, as I said, that makes your heart sing. You will find a reason to say, okay, I'm so passionate about health that, you know, because, and I think it's been in my bones from, from a very young age. So when you're passionate about something, even though the struggle is there, you will continue. And you might get your days where you feel like, and I do as well as an entrepreneur, I put my hands up, I've been there. And you may get your issues where you think, where's the next penny coming from? Because you're used to your regular paycheck coming in, but you don't get that anymore. But I know that God always is our source, and he will always, I know he'll always come through. And I've never missed a bill. I've never missed a mortgage payment. I've never missed, because even though things were tight, the money came through at that time to help me to go on. So I would say never quit. And even if you don't feel like getting up, get dressed, dress yourself down, straighten your crown, and move on. Because in the end of the day, it will all work out in the end. And trust me, I can tell some stories about some struggles and challenges. But I think it's about resilience, and really, when you've got a resilient spirit, you will do it and think, you know, there'll be a way. There's a way to work it out. If you need to find that you're struggling and you can't manage on your own, you just want to talk through things, get yourself a coach. Talk to a coach, a mentor, somebody to bounce ideas off, somebody to say, look, I'm in this place right now, somebody to get you out. So you're not staying in the valley, you're coming up into the mountain. Don't stay in the valley. You're in the valley for a period, but you want to get back on that mountaintop. So don't say, I've been had some wonderful coaches like Lisa Nichols, and so inspiring. They say, come on, you can't stay there. Keep in action.
Uh-huh.
So I can't afford to say I'm not going to do anything, because she'll be looking at me like saying, Shirley.
Uh-huh.
So what I say is, yeah, even though the struggle is tough, and it can be a struggle at times, because I've been there myself, keep going. Trust, if you have a faith, or if you have something you believe in, just believe that it will come to and manifest it in. If you have to manifest it in, write your journals. I heard Chris talk about journals. Write down in your journals what it is you want, and look at the end goal, and always remember your why. Why did you start it in the first place? Why did you say you wanted to do it? Was it because you wanted to have better life for your family, your friends, even for you?
Yeah.
You know, so always go back to your why, even when you're struggling, and then that will put you back on track. And keep your focus, because sometimes we can get distracted. You know, we can get so many distractions come in the way, and you think, oh, I won't do that now. And I've been there. I've been there. I can relate. And here we are, 6 years almost going on, and I thought, wow, 6 years. Thanking God for bringing me through to the 6th year. So
I mean, that's amazing.
I'm happy to talk. If anybody wants to book a free consultation with me to talk, I'm happy to support people, because I love to work with people. Because as my good friend, Dr. Pat Rogers, always says, people need people.
Yep.
That's her event, actually, that I'm actually going to be speaking at next Friday.
Oh, wow. And Miriam, my sister from another mister over there in the Netherlands, excuse me. She said, we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. So,
yes,
yeah.
so true.
Perfect.
So true. I always say everything happens for a reason, and you learn from some of the things that you're going through. It's like you're being taken to another level. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree, Miriam.
Yeah. And sometimes the pathway, you know, on our journey is not fun, right? But that's the journey that we take. So, oh wow, this has been amazing. All the nuggets that you've been dropping. Thank you so much.
Well, I
This
hope
has
your
been
audience
great.
has enjoyed it, and they've got some things out of it. And
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
look out for me, look us up, contact me, and
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
happy to work with
I've
you.
been dropping.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been dropping your links and your website. Now, if we want a signed copy of your book, can we go to your website to get that, or do we need to like email you? How do we go about that?
They can email me, and I can actually give the link. I can actually give you a link to the website where they can actually go and pay, and then they can actually then I will then get a notification on my email, and then I will post the book. Because what on the actual link, it has that they put their name and address, and then I can then actually post it out to them if they want a signed copy. If they want to buy a copy and they don't want a signed copy, they can go to Amazon and get one on there. But everybody loves a signed copy, don't they?
I think Simone actually found it already and posted it in the comments for us. So
oh wow!
Thank you, Simone. Simone don't play, okay? When it comes to books and caregiver things, she's on it. So thank you so much. I've been dropping, like I said, I've been dropping your website and Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook links throughout our discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who was here live during our conversation. I greatly appreciate you supporting Shirley and hearing what she has to offer with Your Life in Your Hands. And just thank you for showing up for yourself to learn something new. That's one of life's beautiful things, is learning something new. And I will be back live tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with two beautiful ladies that represent Evolve and Bloom Therapy. So that this is all just tying together. Just this holistic and health awareness. Oh my goodness, I'm loving it. So tune in later tonight. And Shirley, I just want to put the ball back in your court. If you have anything, that you would love to end us with. And
just to remind people, I've just sent the link to you in a private chat, Ashley.
Okay.
That is for the event. That if you want to hear more from me, next Friday. Suit Up and Show Up. It's on eventbrite.com. You can actually go to the link on Eventbrite and book your ticket. We've got some amazing speakers that are going to be there as well as me and panel experts. It's going to be an amazing event. So it's also mentioned on my Facebook page. So if you go onto both pages, it'll be on there as well, more information about it. So I hope you can attend and listen to me on next Friday, the 25th. But the event is 2 days.
But you're personally speaking on
the 25th.
Friday, the 25th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us from the UK. Shirley, I don't think I mentioned that before. Shirley is based, was it 70 miles?
70 miles from London.
17 miles from London.
70, 70.
Oh, 70, excuse me. 70 miles outside of London. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. I know it's a little later in your evening, but thank you for being here and sharing with us. And I am excited to stay in touch with you.
Oh, definitely. And thank you, Ashley, for the privilege and honor to have me on your show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll definitely look out for your book, Lost and Found.
Thank you.
Download that on my Kindle. So
yes, please. It's I have it free today for National Caregivers Day. So please download it to your Kindle.
And I'd love to send you a copy of my book, Ashley, for you, just for you. So if you let me have your address, I can post it out to you.
I'm going to get a signature. All right. I love it. Thank you so much, Ms. Shirley.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
From the UK. Bye.